Hello everyone, I am Priyanka from IIMT College of Management. Today we are here to discuss capital budgeting and its various techniques. So let's get started. In this session, we will discuss the concept and definitions of capital budgeting, features of capital budgeting, types and process of capital budgeting, and the factors that influence the capital budgeting decisions and its importance of capital budgeting and the various difficulties in capital budgeting and types of capital expenditure decision. Let's get started. The concept of capital budgeting. Capital budgeting or capital expenditure budget, it is a process of making decision regarding investment in fixed assets which are not meant for sale, such as land, building, machinery, or furniture. Capital budgeting is a process that investment in fixed assets. Capital budgeting correlates the planning of available financial resources and their long term investment with a view to maximize the profitability of the firm. It only focuses to maximize the profitability of the firm. It is also known as investment decision because investment in fixed asset is capital budget. The word investment refers to the expenditure which is required to be made in connection with acquisition and the development by which management select only those investment proposals which are worthwhile for investing available funds. So, only for this purpose, management has to decide whether or not to acquire or add or to replace fixed asset in the light of overall objective of the firm. To maximize the profitability, to maximize the benefits of the firm have to choose the best investment proposals, which gives the highest return or maximum return to the firm. When a business makes a capital investment, it incurs a cash outlay in the expectations of future benefits. These expected benefits generally extend beyond 1 year in the future. As this is for the long term, so it is extend beyond the 1 year in future. Investment decisions related to long-term assets are called capital budgeting. It involves the planning and control of a capital expenditure. We plan and we control our capital expenditures decisions or capital expenditure. The term capital expenditure means the expenditure which is intended to benefit future period. That is, in more than 1 year, as opposed to revenue expenditure, the benefit of which is supposed to be exhausted within the year concerns. So, what is capital budgeting? Investment decision that is for long-term assets for purpose of generating revenue for business entity like investment in land, building, machinery, and furniture. Let us discuss some definitions of capital budgeting. According to Charles T. Horngren, capital budgeting is long-term planning for making and financing proposed capital outlays. Next definition, according to Robert N. Anthony, the capital budget is essentially a list of what management believes to be worthwhile projects for the acquisition of new capital assets together with the estimated cost of each product. According to the Milton H. Spencer, capital budgeting involves the planning of expenditure for assets, the returns from which will be realized in future time period. It's the features of capital budgeting. The features of capital budgeting includes first one is investment proposal for which the capital budgeting technique is to be applied should be for a long term nature, as capital budgeting is all about the long term. Proposed investment is to be made during the current period, but return that we will get in over a number of years only in the future period. Expenditure for the proposed investment and return from such investment should be measured in terms of cash inflow that is cash outflow and cash inflow respectively. Investment decision may be taken for a single project proposals or for two or more mutually exclusive project proposals. Acceptance or rejection, it is based on the maximization of value of firm. We will only choose that project that will maximize the value of the firm only. Only the long-term investment proposal are subject to capital busting technique, as this is for the long-term investment. Look at the process of capital budgeting. What are the steps that we have to follow while with capital budgeting? Firstly, to identify investment opportunities. Second is we have to gather of the investment proposals. Then we would have the various investment proposals. Then we have in third step we have to take the decision making process in capital budgeting. Fourth is capital budget preparations and appropriations. Then we will implement that decisions and then we will review of the performance. So first is investment screening and selection. Project consistent with the corporate strategy are identify production, marketing and research and development management of the firms. Once we identify project evaluated and screened by estimating how they affect the future cash flows of the firm and hence the value of the firm. Then we prepare the capital budget. Capital budget is proposed for the project surviving the screening and selection process. Third is budgeting, approval and authorization. Projects included in the capital budgets are authorized, allowing further fact gathering and analysis, and approved, allowing expenditure for the projects. Fourth step is project tracking. After a project is approved, work on it begins. The manager reports periodically on its expenditure as well as on the revenues associated with it. Then fifth step will be post-completion audit. Following a period time, perhaps 2 or 3 years after approval, projects are reviewed to see whether they should be continued or not. Then after the process, what are the difficulties in the capital budgeting? So there are various difficulties or problems in capital budgeting that are as follows. First is future uncertainty. As capital budgeting decision involves long term, which is uncertain. Totally future is our uncertain. Second is time element. As the capital decision, budgeting decision are scattered over a long period, the cost and benefit of decision may occur at different point of time. Next is measurement problem. A finance manager may also face difficulty in measuring the cost and the benefit associated with the project in quantitative terms. For example, like the new product proposed to be launched by a firm may result in increase or decrease in sales of other product already being sold by the same firm, but by how much, this is very difficult to ascertain because the sales of other product may increase or decrease due to other factors also. So next is what are the capital busting decisions? There are capital busting decisions. Firstly is on the basis of firm's existence and second is on the basis of decision situation. On the basis of firm's existence, it may be replacement or modernization of the asset. It may be expansion, like increase in production capacity of existing products, or diversification, introduction of new product line or introduction of new our branch. It is diversification. Next is on the basis of decision situation. It may be accept or reject, mutually exclusive or contingent. And our last topic is techniques of capital budgeting. There are basically two techniques of capital budgeting, that is traditional technique or non-cash discounting. Second is time adjusted discounted cash flow or modern techniques. Further, modern techniques is divided into discounted payback period, net present value, that is NPV, internal rate of return, IRR, profitability index, and modified IRR. It is MIRR. And under the traditional techniques, there are two basic methods: accounting rate of return or average rate of return. That is called ARR, and payback period method. In the payback period method, we discuss how many number of years it will require to recover the initial investment. All right. So these are the some techniques of capital budgeting. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.